Why is Switzerland untouchable? The secrets of a country no one dares to invade. If Europe were a battlefield, and for most of its history, it has been, then Switzerland is that strange, quiet house in the middle of the war zone that somehow never gets touched. While kingdoms rise and fall, while empires burn and borders are redrawn, Switzerland remains. Switzerland. Calm, clean, neutral, unbothered. But why? How has this tiny landlocked country, nestled among powerful and often war-hungry neighbors, managed to stay out of every major conflict for over 2 centuries? This is not an accident. It's not luck. It's a masterpiece of geography, diplomacy, military strategy, and national mindset, all woven together into a single, unshakable identity. Let's unpack what makes Switzerland, quite literally, untouchable. 1. Geography. Nature's perfect fortress. Imagine you're a general planning an invasion. You look at the map. Switzerland is right there, tempting you with its strategic location in the center of Europe. But then, you notice something. To get in, you'll have to climb mountains. Not just hills, towering, snow-covered Alps that form one of the most formidable natural barriers on the planet. Over 60% of Switzerland is mountainous. The passes are narrow, the weather is unpredictable, and movement is slow. Even if you could push troops through, your tanks, supply lines, and reinforcements would be exposed, sluggish, and vulnerable. Worse, every major bridge, tunnel, and transport route has been pre-rigged with explosives by the Swiss themselves. They've literally built their infrastructure to be destroyed in case of an invasion, cutting off any enemy supply line and isolating intruders instantly. Switzerland isn't just defended by mountains, it is a mountain weaponized. 2. Armed neutrality. Peace through preparation. Switzerland is famous for being neutral. But neutral doesn't mean weak. Quite the opposite. The Swiss philosophy is simple. We won't fight you unless you bring the fight to us. But if you do, we're ready. Every Swiss man is trained. Military service is mandatory, and most retain their uniforms, weapons, and training even after service ends. In fact, for decades, every Swiss home had an assault rifle stored safely in the basement, not for aggression, but for preparedness. The country has a concept known as total defense. In the event of war, the entire population mobilizes, not just the army, but civilians too. Emergency plans are drilled. Supplies are stocked. Infrastructure can be shut down or destroyed within hours. Hidden bunkers, thousands of them, are spread across the country, many dug deep into the mountains themselves. Even during World War II, Hitler considered invading Switzerland. He had plans drawn up, but after looking at the maps and calculating the cost, he chose to bypass them. Too mountainous, too defended, too costly, not worth it. 3. Political neutrality, a masterclass in diplomacy. Switzerland's neutrality isn't just a policy. It's a pillar of identity, enshrined in both national law and international recognition. They've stayed out of both world wars, never joined NATO or the EU, and avoided entangling alliances. And yet, Switzerland is far from isolated. They trade actively with the world. They host international organizations. Geneva is practically the United Nations' second home. In short, Switzerland is connected to everyone, but tied to no one. This gives them incredible leverage. In a world torn by alliances and rivalries, Switzerland is often the only neutral ground, the trusted middleman. That's why they're the chosen site for peace talks, hostage negotiations, and even secret backdoor diplomacy between sworn enemies. They're like the calm adult in a room full of fighting children. No one wants to punch the adult. They're the only one holding things together. 4. Economic stability. Banks, chocolate, and leverage. What do you picture when you think of Switzerland? Luxury watches? Clean streets? Mountains? Banks? Switzerland is one of the wealthiest countries in the world per capita, but more importantly, its economy is trustworthy. That's key. During wartime, most economies crumble. Inflation soars. Supply chains break. Not in Switzerland. With centuries of conservative financial policy, low corruption, and a strong currency, the Swiss franc is a safe haven for investors globally. Switzerland is seen as a rock in uncertain times. And their banking system? Discreet, secure. Global elites from every country, including hostile nations, keep their assets in Swiss accounts. Invading Switzerland, then, isn't just a military problem. It's an economic disaster waiting to happen. You don't burn the vault that's holding your savings. In short, Switzerland is too valuable to attack. 5. Cultural identity. Unity in diversity. You might think a small country with 4 national languages would be a recipe for division. And yet, Switzerland turns this into strength. There's no single dominant group. Instead, the country thrives on federalism and local control. Each of its 26 cantons has significant autonomy. Citizens are deeply engaged in democracy, with referendums held multiple times a year. This creates resilience from within. No one region feels left out. No group dominates. Everyone has a say. In times of crisis, this cohesion matters more than military strength. A unified people defend themselves better. And the Swiss are united by one core idea. We are neutral, we are prepared, and we are Swiss. 6. The bunker mentality, the nation underground. Here's something wild. Switzerland has enough underground bunkers to house its entire population. Yes, every single citizen. This system was expanded during the Cold War, but many of those bunkers still exist today, equipped with ventilation, food supplies, and communications. Some are hidden in plain sight, inside mountain slopes, under schools, behind hotel walls. There are even Air Force bases inside the mountains, with fighter jets stored in hangars you'd never see from above. The Swiss don't just plan for war. They engineer survival. While other nations focus on offense and dominance, Switzerland focuses on endurance. And in a world where endurance is often the real measure of power, that might be the smartest strategy of all. 7. The psychology of deterrence. Not worth it. What's the most powerful defense? Not walls. Not armies. Not treaties. It's this, making yourself too costly to attack. And that's what Switzerland has done, beautifully. They've crafted an image, backed by real strategy, that says to any aggressor, you can try to invade, but you'll lose money. You'll lose time. You'll lose men. And for what? A country that will blow its own bridges and disappear into the mountains. No glory. No riches. No reward. Just pain. That's why even Hitler passed them up. That's why no one, not Napoleon, not the Soviets, not modern superpowers, has dared to roll the dice. It's not about being feared. It's about being inconvenient. Final thought, a nation like no other. Switzerland's story is not just one of neutrality. It's a philosophy of survival. In a world obsessed with dominance, they've quietly mastered something more profound, the art of being left alone. By embracing geography, preparing for every scenario, building internal unity, and staying out of global power games, Switzerland has made itself invulnerable, not by might, but by mindset. So the next time you hear a joke like, you don't invade Switzerland, you bank with them. Just remember, behind that joke is a nation that planned everything so well, no one ever dared to test it.